When people are engaged in making art around an issue, they can go beyond the boundaries of how they normally think about things because they can get into the feel. Art and social action it's the only way that we're actually going to resolve some of the big questions on this planet.
Looking at a blank canvas and seeing the world in a world of possibility, I think it's something that anybody at any age can do. Instead of looking at something as an issue, we look at it as a possibility. So it's something that can only unite people.
3 minutes. What was the loss? Actually, that might be fun to do if everybody's comfortable, just to share those last lines around the circle. That would be neat. Do you want to read yours? And you remember you can pass. You don't have to.
Let's see, the last sentence. I broke through a glass ceiling I'd been pounding on for years, even before the radio opportunity, and I would be a pioneer.
Isn't it great to inhabit those words?
Yeah.
Using the creative process as a way to explore issues is an amazing sort of method because it removes judgment. You can suspend judgment for the time in which you're sort of engaging in a creative activity. It's a good place to start from.
I bring Israeli and Palestinian young adults in their 20s together with Canadians for a dialogue and filmmaking program. It almost feels futile to try to have dialogue without art, like really, you know what I mean? Because it's, yeah, especially when you're trying to talk about something that's so sensitive and so emotionally charged. I just can't imagine trying to do it without art.
Climate change.
How do you think making the collage or making the art affected your thinking or affected you?
I think it's made me think more seriously even about it. I mean, these are issues I've thought about for a while, but I think I'm thinking about them more now. I think it's a great way to bring the community together as well, too.
It was a nice way to collect some of the thoughts that I had already had and do it in a visual way. And mostly it was really cool to just like meet people here, and some of the participants were singing, and it felt like this really awesome community space, and I feel like we don't really get that often.
Sam, we made a promise to enjoy ourselves for the rest of our lives, didn't we? We're not 20 anymore.
Thank God.
What were we thinking?
Screw it.
We held vast audiences in the palm of our hands.
Standing ovations.
And now, look at us scrabbling for crumbs.
I was getting excited about the idea of being an extra.
I know.
I think art is a wonderful way to explore a topic, and in fact probably one of the kind of most involved and deepest way to understand an issue or a particular project.
Art making is important to social change because it can give you a more out-of-the-box way of thinking about an issue or discussing it, and it can also kind of covertly bring other people into the conversation that wouldn't already be there.
It allows us to engage intellectually and with heart at the same time, and that is why I think art projects and art and social change in particular should be valued and funded and promoted.
I want you to take one object and identify it as you. Okay? Then I want you to assign metaphorical meaning to each of the other 10 objects. Don't think too much. And I'm going to put you in pairs, and then after you've made your own pattern, we're going to share patterns with your partner, talk about them, and the partner will have the ability to move the objects around and see what that does of your perception of your own work.
So I'm always struggling with wanting to engage more in all these things, but then two other arms, and one is the community initiatives we do. Like
with this whole process, all of a sudden, you know, how the room dynamic has changed, how we engage in a conversation, and it's so visually I could describe what my work means to me and what's it all about, and what, you know, yours, James, as well. And, you know, it's that you would not do without this process.
Well, you're able to jump into like a much deeper and meaningful conversation right away.
If people are given the opportunity to use these methods, to use art as a way of, because this is art, you're designing things, right? They just take to it like ducks to water. It's just a very easy process.
Sometimes I feel like a lot of talk about social justice or environmental justice can be just talk, whereas art has that potential to change values and to change people's behaviors, which can be really difficult. So through art, we're able to talk more clearly about our values.
Art is about exploration. It's about innovation, and it's about going deeply into ideas. And there's never any right answer. In that growth of the individual, it goes exponentially out, and you start to connect with community.
I think the arts offer that possibility of reconnecting people on a gut level, on a body level, on a better understanding level, and kind of wash away some of these stereotypic differences.
I've seen what art can do for people. I've seen art sort of transcend barriers between people, groups of people who don't speak the same language. I've seen with my own eyes what the access to a creative method can do for people who cannot express difficulties in words. Yeah, definitely.